Once all this was completed, I exported everything to Google Earth, and this will make it simpler for the National Weather Service to call up my data, and they can actually do this right at their workstations. It's pretty easy to get everything that they need, and they don't have to flip through a folder. But the exact same symbology that I used in my handbook will be in Google Earth, and it will just be a basic KML file that anybody can really use. I mean, you can send it over the internet if you want to. But here's an image of Google Earth. You can see this is the same subbasin that I was showing earlier. Here's that orange point that I surveyed. But once you click on it, it'll give you the object number and the flood stage in feet, also with a bunch of other information. If you go down here, you can see a link to the different pictures that Sarah took. And once you click on those, you get the picture from upstream, and this will just be a picture looking upstream from where that point was taken. And then also you'll get the downstream picture. And this will be pretty helpful for the Weather Service when it comes to verification for their flash flood warnings. In conclusion, we've learned a lot with this project. Everything's been going pretty good. I mean, we complete everything in record time. It's been a complete success, really. And locations that could be potential problems for flash flooding along roads in the county have been mapped and documented. And this information can be loaded into Google Earth for quick access. Hopefully this information will provide the Weather Service with detailed information about streams in the county down to the street level, which is very useful for them. For example, if a flash flood event threatens a certain roadway and basin of the county, then forecasters can go into my research on Google Earth. They can look and see what the flood stage is for those streams in that county, or in that subbasin, and then they will be able to determine if flash flooding is likely, and then they can issue the warnings for that. Over the next couple of weeks, a full technical report will be made available to the Weather Service, and this will allow them to just basically, it's everything, all my methodology, everything that I've done in the county. But DVD will also be made available, and this will go to the county of Pulaski as well. Are there any questions? Dr. Haas?
I really don't know anything about how flood stage is related to, I mean, is there a simple formula that if you know the size of the watershed and, you know, what is it forested or paved, and you get 1.2 inches of rain, I mean, can you predict it all reasonably, or is there no real?
The Weather Service has a software package, it's just ARC, they use it too, but they take into account the soil type, the forest cover, the land use. It's called FFPI, or I think that's right, is that right, Peter?
Five potential index.
Yeah, and then they can, if a certain subbasin has a higher value, then that subbasin is likely to flooding more so than another one. So they do have a symbol and symbology for that. Any others?
Now that you've successfully and so efficiently covered Pulaski County in such a short period of time, has the Weather Service put up any offers for you to work on the other 43 counties?
Not yet, but Peter and some of the others over at the Weather Service, they've been hinting around that there might be some counties of concern, so might do not do
So
it
in
entirely.
all seriousness, can something along these lines, do you think, be expanded?
Yeah, it can be.
In the Weather Service.
It could be implemented for the other counties as well. I mean, you can do it nationwide. There were some people out in Missouri that actually done a certain research project like this, except for they mapped low water crossings, so just bridges that get flooded whenever it rains hard. So.
I don't think we could do it nearly as efficiently as Anthony did. I was out with him one day, and it was remarkable. I mean, he knew the county for one thing. I would have been lost, you know, driving around in circles probably for hours.
Yeah, that's something else. You might, if we was going to expand this, if we know somebody in the county that's willing to do this for, you know, a couple of weeks, then they might know, you know, the back roads better and stuff. But if you got a GPS and a laptop like I have in my car, it's simple to do. So.
As long as you weren't greeted with a shotgun when you were hopping out of the car.
Well, yeah, everybody was actually pretty friendly. I mean, we had one guy. I remember Sarah was with me. we pulled off the road and had bulldogs on the side of the road and stuff. He came out of his trailer and just had this dirty, dingy undershirt on. And he said, "What y'all doing out there?" And we're just like, "Well, we're just looking at your stream." He's like, "Well, I thought y'all was going to replace my bridge." Everybody actually was pretty nice for the county. I mean, I expected a few people to be, you know, nosy and mean, but we didn't have nobody come up to us like that. They was all friendly.
I think this is fascinating because having been over the forecast office, and often a lot of the telephone calls that they make have to do with flooding, and that's what they really want to know, and they want us to find out exactly where the flooding and how deep it was and when it started and all that sort of stuff. And flooding is of vital interest to the forecasters. This is super.
Yeah, and this is the basis. I mean, there's other places in the county that can flood, but they're not next to a roadway. So this is where, you know, there's traffic flow, and it can be a problem because you might have to close a major roadway or something. So, and that creates
Especially
problems.
if you need rescue vehicles to go through.
Right.
If they know it's flooded here, they have to take a detour. Fascinating. Thanks.
Any others? Well, thank you for the time. Here's my acknowledgments. Just want to say thanks to everybody. But hope you enjoyed it. And if you have time, you can stop by and see my poster from 10:30 to 11:30.